first, writers conference when I was still in the, drafting and writing phase of it, and I submitted my book. Got submitted for like a reading critique, and they didn't know our identity. We just had to put our initials. And I remember I walked in, and the agent was horrified. She said, "Oh my God, this book is graphic. I thought you were a man." She said, "I thought you were." She said, "I thought you were a white man, not a black female." And I was like, "I'm sorry." My name is Monica Patton. I am a writer, a playwright, and a performer.
So describe your writing process.
My writing process, actually it varies. Of course being a skilled writer, you want to take the premise, you want to develop that into like an outline, of course. You want to do your character studies. And what I like to do is my favorite part of this process is the chapter plot, because I'm all about having a roadmap. So get the roadmap, even if you don't know exactly all the steps in the middle, know how it starts, know how it ends.
Being from the stage world a little bit, do you find you follow a 3-act structure when you write as well in fiction?
I do. I mean, I feel like one thing lends itself to the other, and having been blessed, thank you universe, for being in theater, show business for a long time. I do characters. I play pretend for a living. So I always feel like my strong point is getting into the head of the character. And it's so funny, I have one daughter, she's a preteen, and when I'm writing, she's like, "Mom, are you okay? Or are you writing?" Because I'll literally like think about the character, and if they're in like a moment where they're crying, I'll be sitting there in front of the computer crying. I'm like, "I'm just writing, darling, don't worry." She's like, "Okay." I think it's also, as an actress, we think about layers. Layering. What's the moment before? And as a writer, I'm always thinking about the moment before, and I don't want, even my antagonist, I don't want any stock characters. I don't want anyone to be like really good or really evil, because people aren't like that. Yeah. People are layered, and certain layers are easier to get to and to spot. But
you mentioned how you tend to put yourself into the moment that you're writing. So was there a scene that was really hard for you to write, and how did you overcome writing it?
It's a steamy psychological thriller, so somewhat erotic. So, there were breaks that needed to be taken. But like some of the moments were, because my, the heroine, the young female assassin, she suffers from dissociative identity disorder. It's a lot of moving in and out of the characters, and it's her journey to become whole. So, there were moments where in the book that it is painful.
What's one tip for writing a spy?
You have to remember that they're people. They're people with problems, with aspirations, with dreams, but they have a deadly set of skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And I think that is with any character, you have to steep it in realism, even if it's heightened. It has to come from a real place.
So there's no judgment here, so feel free, but what was your favorite kill scene to write?
Oh my God. God. Well, there's two. So early on in the book, when she's still deep cover, so one of the things she says, well, if you can't change the game, change the play. And so she takes the machine gun, she tapes it to like a spout and then tapes the trigger back on itself, and just the bullets start flying, which of course they're in the warehouse and they just come running out and everyone's running and they, shooting at phantom assassins, but they're just running out. But that was her intention, was just to get them out just in case there was a plant inside.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so that was one of my favorite. I did a lot of research on different weapons and stuff, and I was just like, but I was making sure not to add like president and bomb, because I knew like the government would probably like come down on me, because it's like, what
Yeah,
is
you might be in Canada permanently after that.
I was very mindful of all the research I was doing, but I just I needed to like know all this weaponry and like how it worked and how to assemble it, and and then my second favorite is a car chase scene, and she kind of does this kind of Tokyo drift, and like while the car's drifting, like the person that's chasing her has a bulletproof car, so she's like, well, what can I do? I'll just shoot their tires. You know what I mean? So, and then she kind of does this like Tokyo drift and shifts into other gears, and then goes up like the exit ramp of an expressway to get away. But it was a really kind of like cool chart. I'm definitely an action adventure.
Yeah.
And I will give you a love story, and I will give you, but like I'm not the girl that goes to the chick lit movies. I'm not. I'm just like, what, like Star Wars, or what, like the Terminator, or like a transporter. That, I love like stuff like that, because it's choreography. All that is choreography.
So, if you were a spy, what would your alias be?
Oh my God. Well, I kind of have one already. My friends call me the Duchess.
Oh, nice.
Because they're like, you're royal, but you still get into a little bit of mischief. And I was like, because a queen has to be
proper.
Well, she has to be proper. She always has to be thinking about her subjects, and the Duchess, she can show her ass.
Maybe I should ask the Duchess this question then. What's her go-to craft cocktail?
Oh my God. Well, let me tell you what the Duchess had last night. She had a 3-ounce, because I'm in Canada. They got to go by the ounces, which kills me. I had a 3-ounce, a little dry, a little dirty, not salacious, just a little dirty. Stoli martini. It's Stoli. I'm either a Stoli or a Kettle One. Of course, always wine when I'm writing.
What is the hardest thing about being an indie author?
I think that being a writer is so solitary, and I think that me coming at it after having, still in this career, has been a plus. Because you have to have a platform, and touring. I'm really have the advantage of reaching a lot of people, and being a performer and all that gives me an additional platform, so that helps. So I think sometimes that and I'm so used to interviewing and stepping out and all that I remember when I went to the conference, and I'm representing my genre, my book, so I'm there with like a white suit coat and like a black cat suit and thigh-high boots, and they thought I was crazy at that conference. Hey guys, how are you doing? And they're like, whoa, so much personality, like what's happening? But see, writers have to sell themselves now. Like you just can't leave it up to like the agent or my publicist, and you have to do your part just as much as they're doing. And I think that's the hardest part for an indie artist, is that you got to remember you're selling yourself, and it's not just like, oh, who can I get to sell my book, but you got to get yourself out there. Go to conferences, I mean, go to a good one. Don't excuse my French. Don't go to some bullshit one that's just going to take your money. Actually, go to one. Do those reading critiques. Stand up in front of all those people, and you read your stuff, and you be tough enough to get the criticism, really good criticism, and you actually use it. You know what I mean? But put yourself out there. Even if you feel like you're not ready, put yourself out there. Well, of course, you can find me at my website, monicapattonforever.com. You can find my book, Beautiful Carnage. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, pretty much where all ebooks are sold. Also, you can also order a physical copy if you'd like. And you can also find me on the Book of Mormon website. I'm sure I'll be coming to a city near you. If you come to the show, let me know. If you buy the book, I will sign it. And yeah, all the updates of what I'm doing is going to be on my website. And yeah, check in because there's a lot of things that are developing. Mama's always busy.
Right. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun. The last conference I went, before launching, I just wanted to get a last stamp, and I was at a reading. This lovely woman who's like, world famous romance writer, and she was like 80, and she was like reading it, and I prefaced her, and the first got down to like the second paragraph. She's like, "Oh, is it on here or is it me?" But she was awesome. She read and the room was quiet because there was a lot of people that were doing memoirs, and it was like nice and fuzzy. One woman looked at me and she said, "Is this autobiographical?" And I said, "Well, if it was, I would have to shoot you, wouldn't I?" No, I am not an assassin, people. This just comes out of my crazy mind.